Recently, Bungie did their reveal stream for the next year of Destiny content, the Edge of Fate reveal event, and even though I'm very late to the party on this one, I thought it would be fun to do a reaction to it because I've never really done stuff like this. I mean, this is the second live stream now that I have not watched the day that it came out, the first one being the Final Shape live stream, or rather the one I didn't watch live as it was happening. So this is gonna be interesting because I know bits and pieces of what they're talking about because of the twid talking about some of the stuff and it also being all over my timeline, but I don't know the full specifics of what exactly is happening, so we're just gonna kind of get into it and we're gonna see. I'm hoping the audio's fine, because if not, I'm going to cry. Um, can just skip through this. I think this is the trailer. I think. I don't know. It's like the teasers we've been getting. No way. Editor blur that. Why is it so like it's quality? I don't know. I mean it's 1080 alright. It just okay, yeah. This the teaser trailer kind of. You know, I keep forgetting about the little like bits of light that are underneath that portal. And also, yeah, I guess it does make sense that the pyramid ship is still right there because of the Lightfall raid. I forgot what it's called.
They forgot we were here long before the traveler. They forgot that they need us. But they are fated to remember.
Fate? Like Edge of Fate? No way. That's like the name of the expansion.
I'm sure you will. But not through me. Find someone else.
What the fuck? Okay, I haven't seen this. What? If the emissary's a hunter, that's fucked up. So this is the same emissary we've seen like in Trials of the Nine, and I think what the Drifter season from like Forsaken. No way, the pink cat on the thing.
Lined up for you to tell you a little bit about the Edge of Fate and the future of Destiny 2 as well. My name's Andy. I work on the social media team here, but no need to worry. As always, I am joined by some of my amazing colleagues here at Bungie to share some of the finer details of the stuff that we're going to be getting into today. So how about we go ahead and get into it so we can show you what we got.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Starting first with this gentleman on my right and to your left is someone that you've probably seen if you've tuned into our streams before or Vidocs, the one and only Mr. Robbie Stevens, Assistant Game Director here at Bungie. Well,
okay, I'm gonna just skip past the introduction stuff. I kind of like really care about the actual stuff of the showcase.
Me too. Whoa, I totally forgot about this thing for
rooms. I can now tell right down the line, the gentleman there at the very end of the global comms team. Doing so well. Thank you, Mr. Dylan Gaffner. How's it going? Or is just somehow meeting you for the first time. Do you mind telling us about what you do here?
Okay, yeah, I don't care about all this stuff. I want to know what's going on with the game.
And where are we exploring?
Yeah, so our first expansion this year, The Edge of Fate, is the start of a brand new multi-year saga called the Fate Saga. And so we want to tell a story about something older, about the nature of fate itself. Are we bound by it? Can we fight it? Because
makes sense. I mean, we've always had the like Guardians make their own fate thing from VOG in 2014, so it makes sense.
Story that we're going to explore one of Destiny's biggest mysteries and the foundations of the universe itself.
You're talking about the Nine, aren't you?
Who told you?
I think it's
subtle.
How did
I know.
You
yeah.
We did such a good job with this secret.
We buried that lead, didn't we?
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's But I mean, to that end, so who and maybe more appropriately, what are the Nine?
Yeah, so buckle up. In the simplest description possible, the Nine are extraordinarily powerful beings that have been in the solar system for way, 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 way longer than the Traveler. We can think of them as being kind of connected to each of the major celestial bodies in Sol. So that's each of our 8 planets plus the Sun. Sorry, Pluto.
It's messed up.
Didn't make the cut.
All right, fair.
I don't make the rules.
This is
Yeah,
Pluto
there we go.
Erasure. This is fucked up
But,
and evil.
The important thing to
Can we
know
get a
about
like
them
on
is
this
that,
video if
this
you
is where
like
we're going
Pluto?
to focus on the solar system for the next,
Oh my
saga.
god.
We want to
That
ask
can't go
questions
in.
about our home that we've never asked before.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Nine, obviously, Eagle-eyed Guardians have been able to spot references to them for quite some time, whether it be outright ominous or a straight-up game show in some cases. Can you tell
Oh
us
yeah, I
what
forgot
we
that
can
like
expect?
Dares of Eternity was like a 9 thing. I kind of forgot about that
Like you
bit.
said,
I haven't
the
touched that
lore of
game
the
mode
Nine
in
really ranges from
years,
like
probably.
Star Horse infinitely neighing to the Nine doing genuinely awful, awful things in our lore. And so the important thing to know about them is that the Nine are individuals. This isn't a collective. It's not like a hive mind. Each of them are kind of their own being, their own person in the loose definition of a person. They have different wants and desires. They can ally with different members and fight with different members too. In the words of one of our characters really early on, there are aliens, and then there's aliens, and then there are aliens, and that latter one is what the Nine are qualified as.
Fair enough. All right, so beings of obviously immense power, something that the Guardians have gone toe-to-toe with in the past. We've even faced off against the very embodiment of the darkness itself.
Yeah.
What could be tougher than that?
Yeah, so this is something that we think about a lot about, because ultimately the Nine seek to free themselves at no matter
Okay.
in the game bugs, that's their ultimate goals.
I don't care about the story and build up stuff about them. I want the actual gameplay stuff.
But you were mentioning, obviously the Fate Saga is one of the subjects of today. How long can we expect the Fate Saga to last?
Yeah, so the Fate Saga is going to play out over several years, and ultimately we know where we're driving this car. We know where we're going with it. But the conclusion of the Edge of Fate itself is going to leave you with more questions than answers, and it's going to be the catalyst into this new multi-year saga. Because we really want to return Destiny to being a game about big questions, right? And so the way we think about
So I
it is
see
about
they're
more
learning
questions
from
than
the ending of Lightfall, where
So
they
we're gonna be reviewing a lot of
introduced
ideas
far
about
more
concepts
questions than
and
answers
being
at the
able to
very end of
answer
everything. I see.
immediately,
So that's what
because
we're
gonna be
doing.
telling the story over multiple expansions, and we're going to be giving you those expansion beats more times than we have before in the past. And so the Year of Prophecy kicks off with the Fate Saga, and with it, humanity is now set on a collision course with this celestial pantheon of the system that has been here for a very, very long time. And so the Edge of Fate launches on July 15th. And then the second expansion of our Year of Prophecy is Renegade, which comes this winter. And then later in 2026, we've got Shattered Cycle and The Alchemist. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of exciting beats. And so, again, the Edge of Fate is just the beginning of this long
Wait, so like
journey
Shattered
of this
Cycle and
awesome
Alchemist are the
vehicle
next
we're
like
all jumping
2
into and driving together, and it's
DLCs, I'm
gonna take us to
assuming?
some new places.
Like the
So
next 2
with
proper
regards
ones,
to
I guess.
The Edge of Fate right here in front of us. You were also nice enough to bring the class something today. You've got some gameplay with you,
Oh
right?
yeah, we got some clips.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should show those off.
It's a doozy.
Let's check it
I
out.
like the present. Let's check it out.
Sorry, I'm trying not to like drink into the microphone. Oh crap, is that the Bungie logo?
Guardian, I had a vision.
Conform, comply, return.
Oh, this is like some old like concept art stuff that's finally getting used. That's cool. I like that.
Conceal.
I'm not human anymore.
Holy shit, average Gen Z YouTuber right there? Damn.
No one else should know what this feels like.
Those are definitely some new enemies. What the fuck is that? Damn, I was hoping that would be like a new super, but no, it's just Arc Blade, whatever it's called.
Terminate.
Oh? Okay, okay. Okay, that looks pretty cool. It went from what? Arc to Stasis? No land. Already know about that. It's in the game right now. What the fuck? Okay,
All right,
okay.
that gives us an awful lot to go ahead and continue to dive into. And here to help us go ahead and explore a little bit more of it, everyone you probably knows we've been joined by
I
someone new
mean,
here on the couch. We are
looked cool, but
maybe here
also
some of those
Bungie's
viewers
really
may
good
know
at
him as my
marketing,
favorite all-time
so
Destiny emote, the one and only Dave Samuel, art director here at Bungie. Dave, how's it going, man?
It's going great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. For anyone who maybe for some reason somehow doesn't have that emote in their collection or hasn't seen you in a past VIDOC, do you mind telling us a little bit about what you do here?
let's go the
Yeah,
goat.
I'm art director on Edge of Fate. I work with the art team to visualize the narrative and design and kind of bring it all together.
It's a lot to bring together. Thank you very much for being here today.
Yeah.
So, with the Edge of Fate, it's obviously the first expansion in the Fate saga. Allison, I'd love to start with you, actually.
Wait,
What
it's
can
the
you tell
first
us
one
about
in the
the Edge of
Fate
Fate?
Saga? No way.
Begins with an invitation. And we are invited, along with a very specific group of people, to a
Okay,
that
story
I know
stuff.
is the one that's way,
I mean,
way,
yeah, it
way, way,
looks
way,
cool.
way outside of our galaxy. What do
The
you
environments
mean?
look cool.
Yeah,
I
what can
mean,
say?
that's not really like a
Didn't you
standout
know,
thing
if
though,
you look
because I mean,
inside, in
Bungie
Destiny's
always
universe,
does
the
really good
Earth map, the
environmental
edge of the
design.
solar system, you'll find, and that's where we're going, to Kepler.
Super exciting. And this is kind of a Robbie. We were talking kind of before the show. This is like the like a first taste of something new, right?
Yeah, so what you're seeing here is us just trying something new. We're expanding the universe of Destiny, creating new mysteries to uncover. This whole destination is about exploring a labyrinthian world that took inspirations from things like Dreaming City, exotic missions, dungeons, and it's wrapping it all through a
I mean, you can
Metroidvania
definitely kind of tell that they're
experience. And so at
taking
the heart of all of this,
that kind
the
of
heart of the
stuff
Edge of
and
Fate
putting it in
is
here.
a player-driven exploration and discovery of an exotic world with brand new abilities.
So actually, to even just maybe dig a little bit deeper, like how is the Edge of Fate going to be different from past expansions that we've made for Destiny?
Yeah, so at the global scale, when we're thinking about expansions and the Year of Prophecy and the formula of Destiny expansions going forward, first off, we're doing 2 expansions a year instead of just 1. And think of each of these expansions as a little bigger than something like a Rise of Iron from D1.
A little bigger than Rise of Iron. I don't
Combined are going
really
to be
remember how big Rise of Iron was because I wasn't there.
We're upping the pace of major world and story events that really matter to players and are going to be
Rocket
the Fate Saga.
Pulse? Huh?
So,
Oh,
we're trying radical new
check the HUD. There's little ammo counters now down here. Wow, how much more are they gonna jam into this HUD, dude? I mean, hey, I'd love to see something here, you know, at some point.
things.
Yeah, we
It's
got
easy
little
to achieve these
ammo
expansions.
counters
So,
down
alongside
here
this
now.
new
That's
destination
cool.
of Kepler, this exotic world that players will explore with brand new abilities. We also have
So we're
world
gonna
tiers.
like kind of
World tiers
know
allow you to take on
ammo prog. I guess they're
level
making
challenge
ammo
of
progression
destination,
or ammo
to
drops
attract some of
more
the best
like
loot,
deterministic, which is very
within
good.
the
It's
release.
very much a
What's
good thing
cool
for the
about these
game.
world tiers is as you play through the mainline story,
Because not really knowing when you're gonna like when you're gonna get ammo is kind of bad, especially in like the higher end of stuff where ammo is far more important. So making ammo a deterministic thing, I think, is just gonna be a really good idea. So I'm glad that they're doing
story
that.
and you play through the first couple of world tiers, you're going to unlock later world tiers. And as you're claiming these abilities, as you're
World
exploring the
tiers, we're
world,
going to
as
like
you're discovering more within the release,
things
you're
that come to
putting
my
these
mind are
puzzle
like
pieces
Div
together,
1,
and you're figuring
Div
out
2,
how to solve
kind of
all
world
the
tier
mysteries
stuff.
on Kepler with different ways. And so you might
Could
play
be
a puzzle
interesting,
one way, a mission in one
depending
way,
on how
and
it's
as you clear
implemented.
world tiers in the post game, you can start to solve these problems in different ways that you couldn't before in the original playthrough. And so, alongside all of this, we're also going to have a ton of quest content that we're rethinking about how we use within the game. And so, on Kepler, there's some non-linearity within the destination itself. And so, with a lot of our side quest content that is related to the critical path, but you don't have to play it. It's there for you to explore. It's driven by your discovery of the world. You're
Turn it up like
in
a
the field,
bit
you
more.
discover
I
something
don't know
new,
how good the audio
and it's gonna
balancing
help
is.
you
I'm gonna
explore
cry
the
if this thing
characters
comes
and
out
the world
bad.
of Kepler more and go deeper.
So they're saying of like something like non-linear stuff, which I don't know. I kind of don't think is really the approach they should be taking. Um because previous expansions have kind of been it depends on what they're actually going to do with like this non-linear stuff. Um right. But I don't know, previous expansions just kind of they were trying to be non-linear, but they were also just linear at the same time because they gave you these giant, you know, worlds to explore, and then they never kind of did anything with them. Like there was never really anything interesting to do on them during or even after the campaign. But then you had something like Final Shape, which I think was just significantly better because of the fact that it was the least Destiny-like campaign that we've ever had. Right? There was like I think there was only like 3 moments of backtracking. No, I mean, well, technically two, because backtracking like those two would require you to go to previous areas and the one would take place in the area. So technically, there's only 2 moments of backtracking, and it's just to show you the lost sectors, which is, I think, normal. I don't remember if they've showed the lost sectors in the or if they've made the lost sectors a point in the previous expansions. But again, I think Final Shape worked because it was that kind of linear campaign, something akin to a Halo game or Marathon. Um, so I'm not really sure how to feel about like the non-linear thing. Maybe it's gonna kind of be like, I don't know. I mean, the closest we probably have is something like Forsaken, where you kind of had a non-linear approach to it, but because of the power system, they kind of threw it out the window. But again, it just really depends on what exactly they mean. I should probably let the video play. He's probably gonna explain it, but just kind of hearing that, I'm like, not totally sure what to expect, but I think them just not going for the super linear path. I don't know, it could be an interesting shakeup, but I also think, again, Final Shape works so well because of its linearity and its focus on the main thing, but
On
let's
that
just
story.
continue.
So yeah, again, this is all about us just looking at the formulas that we've been building in Destiny over the last 10 years, and some of them are really strong, but they're due for some experimentation and some radical changes, and so that's what you're seeing here with the.
I mean, again, I'm definitely for them making changes, right? I'm definitely down for them experimenting with everything. But I also feel like the Final Shape campaign was a pretty good experiment because it's something they haven't done in Destiny before. Um, so I don't know. And again, I'm all down for experimentation and them changing up the formula because God knows this game needs the formula to be changed because it's been the same since what, Beyond Light? Technically, most expansions have had the same like formula since the beginning. And then Beyond Light kind of established the between expansion like cadence of everything. Well, technically Shadowkeep did, but Beyond Light's really when it kind of got its stride. And then ever since then, the game's just kind of been the same in Final Shape. It was an experiment. I mean, the expansion was maybe not so much. Again, like in terms of the campaign structure of it being totally and story being like totally focused and linear. I mean, literally, you could see your progression instead of like being in this in the open world all the time. You could actually see your progression through the campaign as you push through the Pale Heart and closer to the monolith. I think was a really cool thing. I wish we'd get something like that again because it was just a cool, unique idea that they've never done. But also, having the final story mission be a like a 12-player activity and also with the raid like directly tying into the story, which I don't think has been done since like what, Taken King, Last Wish. Yeah, I think Taken King and Last Wish, or I'm sorry, Forsaken. I'm calling it the raid name. Yeah, King's Fall and Last Wish. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't they the last times that we had the campaign directly lead into the raid? Like, obviously, the raid's always been semi-related to, like, the events of the campaign. But I feel like the way, like, the story never directly continued in the raid. I feel like the raid was its own story. Like, Lightfall, for example, at the beginning of Lightfall, the Traveler, pierces the Witness pyramid ship and that starts off like the stuff of Rooted Nightmares, but we go do the side questing on Neomuna first, and then after we lose there, that's when we decide to check it out. Like I feel like the Lightfall story ended with the final campaign mission, and then we went into Root. Whereas with Final Shape, we had the first 7 missions, and then the story of the DLC directly continued into the raid, because we finally pierced the Witness's monolith, went through, weakened it, and then it retreated to a different part of the monolith, and then that's when Excision happens. And that was, pretty cool, I think. And yeah, of course, the year of Final Shape as well had a lot of experiments with the episodic format, which I just don't really think worked that well, mostly because it was. I call it an experiment, but it was really just kind of the same thing as Seasons, but it was just time gated way, way more than Seasons were. Because at least Seasons, you had something every week, but with the episodes, you would play the first 2-3 weeks of the episode, and then suddenly you're just kind of out of stuff to do. And I feel like it was kind of a little disappointing. I think, I don't know. This current season, whatever it's called, I don't remember if it's Revenant or Heresy, but I think this season might have done it best, but also, I mean, there's been like no anything since Act 3 basically dropped, which, I mean, yeah, granted, you're gonna hit that kind of drought at the end of the season when the story and whatnot wraps up, but I don't know. I mean, I like that they actually focused on adding content to the game more than just what they did before, but I'm rambling. Let's just continue.
The first taste of the Edge of Fate.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I love everything you just said. I was a little distracted by some of the gameplay we were showing, like exotic sniper rifle. I think I saw. Kind of recognize that.
Oh yeah.
Some enemies with a couple really cool twists. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But then also there was a guardian that turned into like a lightning ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's multiple new abilities that your players are going to be able to discover on Kepler that's going to make them navigate and look at the world in different ways. But the one you're talking about, Dylan, we see it as our premier ability, the crown jewel to release, and that's called Matter Spark. And Dave has joined us, and he's helps us take the vision of the narrative and the design and the art and smush it together in amazing experiences.
So, like Deep Sight, kind of, but a little more involved, maybe?
So there's this new source of energy on Kepler, this strange dark matter. So the Guardian binds itself to the dark matter using the arc powers within. You can think of the dark matter as like a medium, and the arc as this catalyst.
Yeah, so it's kind of like what Deep Sight was going for, basically, but it's a little more involved.
Into Matter Spark lets you squeeze into tight areas, race around.
I guess we're getting this
jump
instead
over
of
stuff,
actual new
and it
abilities,
also
which
allows you to turn into this
could be fine. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but it looks cool.
Death, jolting and shocking enemies that come across your path.
So obviously, one big part movement, one big part combat, but I mean, even just in addition to that, to look a little bit, wider, like how did the Matter Spark Ball kind of influence the world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, the team really had to rethink what it means to build a destination with these abilities in mind. A simple hill becomes a ramp to get to a new space. A crack in the wall, it basically will reveal a whole new area to explore. It's also a new way to engage with enemies. Instead of taking a bunch of enemies head on, you can find a Matter Spark pad, transform, turn into this electric ball of death, and then just like.
I'm so glad he's still here doing the funny sounds like that. It's so good.
And then really give the House of Exile on Kepler a bad day.
As well, we should. It's a good.
Again, this looks like. This looks like what the kind of concept of Deep Sight, but they're taking it to the next level, which I think is, go for it, dude. Like this looks awesome, right? Even though, I don't know. Let's just continue.
What are some of the other Kepler abilities that we'll be able to unlock while we're out there as well?
But yeah, it's just more involved Deep Sight. I like that. I like that.
Dark matter and our Guardian's powers. So we have the Relocator Cannon, which is this new
Relocator. Is that the
dark matter tech mixed with void? This is going to allow you to bypass laser walls.
So that's what that like cannon was earlier.
And just basically teleport around the world. Another ability that we have is Matter Morph. This is dark matter mixed with strand, allows you to manipulate the environment. You'll be able to basically push and morph and move geometry to create bridges, open up doorways, and then also reveal secrets and new opportunities.
Yeah, so what's really important about what Dave is describing, and when we were thinking about building this world, it was all about like, hey, here's this new tool to navigate and see the world in a different way, and solve a little.
Everything, but I feel like that ship's been in a lot of concept art, so I'm glad to see it finally used.
But also, what was really important to us is that we lean into Destiny's first-class ability gameplay. And so with Matter Spark, like Dave is mentioning, you're jumping, you're dashing into enemies to destroy them, you're doing giant explosions with them. With the Relocator Cannon, you're just blowing everything up with void explosions and graviton lance style, like little secret projectiles. And then what's really fun about Mattermorph is you can just be like throwing these strange shurikens basically to just like delete an encounter before you then like start to morph the environment around you and move to the next area. And so it's just really exciting I'm incredibly excited about watching players.
I mean, they're certainly making it sound exciting. We'll see, once we get there, but
yeah, and see how they take on the destination. And just like I really want to emphasize, you're going to be upgrading these, and when you get into especially the post-game experience, it's going to unlock. There's something unlocks with Matter Spark that really changes the way that you can play through the entire destination.
Yeah. So when we're talking about dark matter,
Yeah.
we have darkness abilities like Strand and Stasis already. Like, how is dark matter different?
Yeah, so dark matter and darkness are two completely separate things. They're completely different things. But dark matter does exist in our world. In the world of Destiny, we know it as being tightly connected to the Nine. It's what the Nine are actually made out of. In our world, dark matter is invisible. You can't really see it. And it wouldn't be very fun to make a destination where there's an invisible thing that you can't actually see. So lucky for us, on Kepler, there's a bioluminescent microbe that allows us to see all of this substance that's impacted this world so much. It allows us to see how it's impacted the plant life, how it's impacted the behavior of the peoples that we're going to encounter. And we can see how it has been able to bring these things that are kind of unstuck in time into this current location.
I do have to put on my drifter hat for just a second and, like, what does it smell like? What does it taste like?
Yeah. Dark matter smells and tastes like bleach and math.
I love
Cannot wait to get
those
that
two
chip.
things.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
don't. That's a
Get away
lie.
sandwich today after.
It's zesty.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Actually, so on the topic too of stuff in the trailer as well, we heard someone talking there. Can you tell us who that was?
Sure, that was Lodi. Lodi is a new character that we're introducing in Apollo. Not in Apollo.
Oh my god, it's literally like every modern YouTuber. Holy shit. He looks out of place, man. I can't, like, it's this uncanny valley of like really realistic human guy. Like this is like an average white guy you could find like on the street anywhere in the US. Like, damn. It literally looks like every white guy combined into one.
We're introducing him in the Edge of Fate.
Yeah.
I want to give a special shout out to Brian Villalobos, who portrays Lodi and does a spectacular job. This character is fascinating. He's kind of a fish out of water, but the fun thing about tropes is to kind of put a twist on them, right? So what if that fish that we pulled out of the water was the most qualified fish to be pulled out into the air?
Down for anything.
It's down for anything.
Yeah.
And what if that fish was kind of made?
This means fishing is coming back, by the way.
I don't want to give away too much because this character is way more fun for the players to figure out what his deal is. But I will say that Lodi is very, very far from home.
Very fair, very exciting. So,
I do have
Like
to
the
call out, too,
Spider-Man
before we
movie.
started This, you and Robbie were talking about how Lodi is like a notice me character.
Oh yeah. Robbie wanted a senpai.
I did. I wanted someone that I just wanted to spend a bunch of time with on this new adventure.
I'm really hoping the audio's fine on this, or else I'm going to cry.
Notice
Notice
me,
me.
Lodi.
yeah, of course,
He
it
will,
writes
he will.
itself, or rather, Allison does. So, with regards to the characters as well, so is it a whole new cast of characters in the Edge of Fate?
No, we're going to see some new faces like Lodi and other characters, but we're also going to see some familiar ones too. Ikora is here. The stakes are high enough that she's here investigating.
No way, Ikora's actually gonna like do
As it turns
something.
out, in one of our major mysteries, she's kind of at the center of it. She was invited here, as was Lodi, same as we were. All of it's kind of tied together.
Very Exciting.
Yeah,
So
the wave
I like that
so
armor
the-
set.
yeah,
I do like
the
that
way
armor
we
set.
think
I think
about
that
this
looks
is about
good.
all these characters, their fates are intertwined in some
Yes.
way. There's these puppet masters that have been pulling the strings for a very long time in order for everyone to get here at this moment. And so, as a guardian and these characters involved, they're going to have to decide if they're fight your fate. Like that's what we think about for these individuals. That's what they're going to have to go through and determine about how they can stand up to this new conflict that is surrounded by the Nine, because they are fated to be here. And what does that mean for them, and what does that mean for their future and the future of Seoul itself?
So with regard to these new characters and this world we find ourselves in, was there anything about that setting, or in particular, that really influenced the creation, rather, of this world that we're going to be inhabiting?
Yeah, I'll give you a list of fun facts. First off, if you've been paying attention to Destiny over the last week or so, you already know that there's been people on Kepler for a long time. That's an old-ass computer that you were putting those numbers into. We also know that the Vex are here. They're studying the Nine because it turns out the Nine...
Oh, another
do
Vex
something called
DLC.
Vex
Yeah, I wonder
Command.
how they're gonna
As Dave mentioned, the House of
flop
Excel
it this
are also
time.
here. They've become fixated on a being that they call the Giver. And kind of most importantly, the dimensionality on Kepler is really thin. So the 3 dimensions that we can know and see and touch are very close to the realm that the Nine live in. And that means some things from Earth's past have been yanked into Kepler's present.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, so we've been talking about invitations throughout this, and we need to call out an invitation that's actually going to be waiting in the game after this is over. Ride of the Nine begins today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I believe we
that's
have a
an event
trailer
that
to show.
You were nice enough to bring a trailer
I
along.
keep playing probably.
Look really
Yeah,
quickly.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Still find this dungeon choice so weird because it's like we have Spire, we have Prophecy, which are like okay. You know, Prophecy has like pretty high 9 involvement, so that one makes sense. Spire, I'm not really sure. And then you have Ghost of the Deep, which like nobody likes. Nobody likes Ghost of the Deep. I don't know why it's in here. Like, nobody likes this dungeon. Why is it here? Who invited, bro? I don't know. My problem with Rite of the Nine so far, like early impressions of Rite of the Nine, I guess, even though I'm probably never going to talk about it again, is they were hyping it up to be like the pantheon of dungeons. Not really, no. I don't it's not what Pantheon was. Pantheon was a special thing. This is not Pantheon, but dungeons. This isn't. I get that dungeons are short enough and only require 3 people to have the full dungeon be included, unlike raids, which would require 6 and go on significantly longer. They probably wanted a specific runtime for Pantheon, so that's why they just kept it as the encounters. Dungeons are short enough where it'll be fine putting the whole thing in there. I think it just would have worked better as a boss rush, like what Pantheon was. I really do. But yeah, no, they've been like hyping up this, you know, Pantheon dungeon experience, and this isn't it, man. It just ain't it. I don't get the same joy or like feeling that I got from Pantheon that I am with I'm not getting the same enjoyment that I got out of Pantheon that I'm like this one. This one's not providing the same enjoyment. Sorry, I don't know how to word. But yeah. This one's just I don't think it's as good as Pantheon. It wishes it could be Pantheon. It's
So
good,
that's Rite of the Nine, which is
but
our essential prologue story for the Edge of Fate. And these 3 dungeons that are featured in this event are free for all players starting today. And so what's really important about this is that these dungeons are both for veteran dungeon crawlers, hardcore raiders, people have been in these places a lot, but also new guardians who have never stepped into a dungeon before, right? What was really important for us when we were developing Rite of the Nine was that we are changing the formula on how we can think about how we can welcome even more people into these experiences. And so you're going to be able to go in solo, buffed up, and explore a dungeon by yourself, or go in match made with other fire team members shoulder to shoulder for the very first time. But don't worry, because we also have that higher level challenge for our veteran, our hardcore dungeon crawlers, where you're going to be able to earn the best possible loot, exclusive rewards, and also an exclusive title as part of Rites of the Nine. What's also really important about this event for being a prologue for the Edge of Fate is that it really reintroduces the emissary into the game, and you're going to learn why her job is pretty crappy and why she quits at the top of the Edge of Fate, like we saw at the beginning of this show. And so, Andy, we've been talking a bunch about how our Destiny expansions are changing the formula for Destiny going forward. So now I think it's time for us to start talking about how the core hobby of Destiny.
Oh boy, this can't be good.
Playing Destiny week over week experience. We've got someone else on the couch here to help us talk about that.
We have an expert in that very subject now who has gone ahead and joined us on the couch. We are now joined by the
I feel like I know what's coming.
Creative director here on Destiny. Ben, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm really excited to be here. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, seriously.
There is a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be a very good conversation we have coming up.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, can you tell us just a little bit about what you do here?
Yeah. So it's
No disrespect to the devs, but I just kind of want the gameplay stuff.
building blocks of Destiny 2 and getting those.
Nice. Well, let's go ahead and why.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna start with the why first because it's important.
Yeah, no disrespect to the devs. I'm here for the game stuff. So
like awesome chases that you're excited.
sorry for skipping the dev introductions. I just want gameplay stuff.
That you want to climb. You're like, I want that mountain. It looks pretty cool. And the thing that is not always true right now, Destiny, is like it doesn't feel streamlined as it could. Players don't have as much agency. We want to be player driven. We want to be more rewarding than we are. Because right now there are barriers to playing Destiny like in the best way. And those barriers are insurmountable sometimes. So think about that whole picture of...
Yeah, one of them is your DLC pricing and the fact that you refuse to give out all their expansions for free, but that's something you'll never discuss.
Okay, what is the Destiny that we really want that has been in the past that we also want to get back to and where we want to go for the future? That's where all the changes you're going to see have started, like at their inception point. So it's a big piece of the pie.
Massive updates coming across so many systems of the game, and we're just getting in.
Yeah, because notice how when they always talk about improving the Destiny player experience, it's always the core game, which to be fair, yes, is important. The core game is important to the game, obviously, and to getting people retained and stuff, but something they never talk about are the external walls that lie outside of the game, aka the DLCs. Because why are we still selling Forsaken, Shadowkeep, and Beyond Light? You've gutted most of it and put it in the game for free. Why are you still charging money for those expansions? You want more people to get into the game. I mean, yes, fix the core game, but you also need to lower all those external walls that you've put up with expansion pricing and the dungeon key system and all that. Just lower your barriers. I cannot imagine that Bungie's making that much money off of stuff like Shadowkeep and Forsaken and Beyond Light and probably even Witch Queen at this point. You can make them free. It's okay, Bungie. It is only going to do good because people will go, oh hey, they're, rolling all this DLC stuff into the game. That's lowering the paywall that people have to overcome to get in this game because it's an expensive game. Because, I think Legacy Collection is $60, which is every DLC, I think, up to Lightfall. And then you have Final Shape, which is $40. And then you're going to have Edge of Fate, which is $40. And Renegades, which is $40. You can get them both for $80. But the point is very... And that's not even to mention the dungeon keys, which are like, $20? There's 3 of them, so... That's, another $60 that you gotta spend. Again, lower the paywall. Lower the price of entry. Yes, obviously, fixes to the core game are good for the people that are already there. But for some of us, it's kind of too little too late at this point. But again, I think the biggest problem with Destiny is the insane paywalling that they're never going to address. But whatever, I'll continue because I'm just gonna go on a salty rant
I mean, to that
if I
statement
don't
then,
stop.
how are we making it easier, pardon me, to go ahead and just get straight into the fun?
Oh no,
of
let's
Destiny?
do it because that's exactly what we want to do. And the first thing you're going to see when you log into Destiny with Edge of Fate, you're going to log in your character and see your ship in orbit. It's going to say, it's not going to say Open Director. It's going to say Open Portal, and the portal is our new front page of the game. We're trying to like get you to the fun as fast as possible and as few clicks as we can. Like we even have Edge of Fate there in the corner so that it's like right immediately there. No fumbling around with the map to get to it really. And we're also taking other.
Isn't it really fumbling with the map though? I mean, I feel like the map is it's fairly obvious. I mean, unless there's gonna be like a new sub-screen for Kepler, where Kepler's gonna reside. What do you mean fumbling around with the map? The map is like a super basic thing. Am I the one out of touch? I mean, I don't know. Bungie's the one with all the data and all that. I'm just a guy on the internet that likes to talk. I don't know.
Parts of the game, the rich
I feel like the director screen is one of the few things that's
So the
not
idea is that we're
a
having these different
problem
ops.
because it's kind of obvious.
We're having solo ops, or have a bunch of fire team ops, we have pinnacle ops, and of course we have crucible ops, still super important for the game.
I mean, to start up at the top, can you tell us a little bit more about what solo ops
Oh yeah,
entails?
yeah. So solo ops is exactly what it says on the tin. It is a bunch of activities that are made for solo players. And the conception point of that was we want to make activities for players who like, have a smaller amount of time that they want to play in, and they don't necessarily want to have like dependencies on other players, but they still want to get in there and play for 10 to 15 minutes and get some real progress.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah, get some loot.
Yeah.
Get some loot and move your character forward and be like, yeah, I played some Destiny, that was great. And, even if you don't feel like playing with
showing this like it's this cool new thing. It's just the same shit we've been playing for 8 years with no upgrade. Oh my god.
Some other ways that we can play and have fun using Portal as well.
Yeah, so Robbie actually has a great way of talking about this.
Yeah, some of the North Star that is what we talk about when we were developing the portal early on was like, where are we headed with this thing? And ultimately, it's play your way. It's giving players more agency, more personal drive to figure out how they want to engage with the power climb and the new progression systems coming and our seasons. And so the entirety new progression and power climb is now all available to you in the portal at your fingertips in one place. It's really
Again, I'm not a new player, right? I've been playing this game for 8 years. So there's a possibility that I'm out of touch with this stuff. And like obviously this is probably overall like a good thing. I'm just kind of really questioning some of it because it's like again, I don't have the perspective of a new player. Maybe for new players this is maybe for some people this is like kind of what the game needs and stuff, but like I don't know. I feel like the current kind of map thing that we have going on and like quest system, I feel the quest screens and stuff is pretty fine. I mean, obviously this will be better because it's kind of a hub for everything, but it also, I don't know, I feel like maybe it's too much streamlining. But also, again, this is coming from somebody who knows this game like the back of his hand and knows where all the stuff is and what's what. So, again, maybe this is a net positive for the game. I'm just an out of touch old man, basically.
really easy to jump in. Anything you play inside of that category any of those categories is gonna help you make progress. And so, because we want Destiny to be welcoming not only to new players but also old players who are coming back to the game to join us with the Edge of Fate.
Notice how they didn't
we also
say
want this to be
current
an even
players.
playing field for everyone. And so, as part of this is a commitment from us, as part of the core hobby and all the seasonal content we're building, that we're going to be continually investing in this, right? We're going to be continually updating this over time for years to come. And so, you're asking me directly, like, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
Ben mentioned solo ops. We also have the fire team ops and pinnacle ops. Both these are more around playing with other fire team members, shoulder to shoulder, where fire team ops are more quicker sessions. There are some longer form things in it too, but then pinnacle ops are more about those really long form or more challenging kind of focused activities like exotic missions, for instance. And so And then the one
Are
thing
exotic
we
missions
talked
that
about
long? I
is
don't
the
really
player
know.
team
I don't think they're
is
that long.
incredibly important, and it's something that I think we've done for the first time, like ever, or maybe since early D1.
It's kind of a return to form.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways,
yeah. You're going to be able to experience the entirety of the power climb within Crucible Ops by playing PvP, right? So this means like if you want to be sweaty, Andy, which like I know you, Dylan, too. I know you're that way, right? Like
I mean, that's cool for PvP players. I thought PvP's been like decent for power grinding. I guess what they're meaning is that you can go from like floor to cap just through PvP. I guess is what they're saying. Which mean, good for the people that only play this game for PvP. No negative there.
The entire experience in the season here and earn some of the highest tier loot that's also available.
But also, this unfortunately means they're probably going to be raising the power cap every season, so yay.
For other folks out in the community, like they want to go in, they want to jam on PvP, but then their friends invite them to do a dungeon or a higher tier activity, and they're like, oh wait, I need to grind a long time to get up to power. Now, through PvP, they can get up to power, and you can just bring them into that PvE experience and have a fun time with each other.
Yeah. That's honestly how I primarily played D1, so I'm really looking forward to that. So it sounds like the core, obviously, of what you guys are talking about, play the way you want to play. Is at the center of all of it. What if I really want to challenge myself, push myself?
Oh yeah,
more?
That's important to us.
Yeah. So
Depth's important to us.
well, depth, but also success.
Yes,
and
that's true.
from it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we really want to give agency. That's one of the things. Player agency, player driven towards loot and challenge. And so we have a really hugely expanded activity customization system. We have a lot more difficulty levels, and we have a ton of new modifiers. We have
Okay, this is good. This looks really promising. This reminds me of what was that thing in Forsaken where you could like choose modifiers and you would get like a point modifier for it? Like this is what this reminds me of. It's like a more advanced version of that. Why that was ever removed, I literally could not tell you, but this feels like that coming back, and that's good.
50 new modifiers along with all the old modifiers that we've released in the past that are going to make this big curated web of options for you to experience any of the PvE content.
Yeah, we have presets, and then but you can also add on to those presets. That's no, this is actually genuinely like really good. Like
we have Banes, not just old Banes that we have, but new Banes as well. We also have boons to help you like get advantages.
Bonus focus, does this mean like class items have like a dude, this should have been in the game like forever ago. The fact that this is coming after you created the perfect jump off point it's crazy to me that you're doing all this investing in the base game after most people have left and when your game's dying. I mean, it's good that it's coming. I'm glad that they're making this kind of stuff, but at the same time, for a lot of people, it's a little too late for these kind of changes. Also note the power crunch. I know that this is the thing that they're doing. This is one of the few things I actually do know that is coming. Big fan of the power crunch because the numbers maybe the numbers will mean something again, right? They kind of don't mean anything right now, but I mean, remember when like 305 was like a big deal back in year one and like 335 or whatever, and then whatever it was for Warmind, like, man, I remember that. When 305 meant something.
And for your build.
Didn't matter, but
and trade-offs. And the fun part is you're going to get these different combinations that are available, and you're going to then make a mix that's actually going to change the way you play and be pretty interesting. Sometimes the way you prefer you play. Like there's a new boon called Grappler that I personally love. It's kind of my preferred way to play, where they give you 3 grapple grenades, replacing your current grenade. You can't do the melee, but they recharge super fast. So any build you want, you could now Spider-Man around any map. It's actually super fun.
It's so fun. Yeah, I mean, like, what's at the heart of what Ben is talking about is what we kind of call the virtuous cycle, right? Where you're going to be crafting your build, tinkering with the activity, looking at like how you can earn a higher tier of reward by taking on higher challenge. And as you earn better loot, you're looking towards that next mountain to climb just ahead of you all the time. And so this is really about how far you want to push yourself upwards within the portal itself. But also, we also are thinking about the people, and that's the depth, right? That's the depth of the challenge that we're talking about. That's also, but we're also thinking about the people who don't have as much time to play with like solo ops, and also if you're scared of modifiers or you're scared of customizing these activities,
or you just don't feel like
doing it. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it. Thank you. We have a bunch of quick play options, right, Ben?
Yeah, quick play options, and we actually have matchmaking and Fireteam ops.
Oh,
and we have Fireteam Finder, and so you're able to like really choose kind of what you're in the mood for.
Oh yeah, we technically have matchmaking across every activity that exists.
Except for solo ops, because that's solo.
Right.
But yes, otherwise,
but in the
aside
Fireteams
from
and
that
Pinnacle Ops, it's everything.
Yeah, you'll have options to play by yourself or with other people. Oh, actually, really fun part.
Does this mean that like Raids are gonna have matchmaking? Oh god, that's gonna be horrible.
Well, you're talking about like all the different boons and combinations. I think at one point you were saying around 50 or something like that. Those
50 new ones.
50 new ones.
Yeah.
So it's like you can take those into solo ops. Like we're talking about this being kind of leisurely, bite-sized activity, but if you want to take it and say, I don't want Weenie Hut Jr., I want like esoteric level solo hardest thing in the world, like you can kind of customize and do that.
You can just do it from the very start if you really want to.
Yeah.
And
depends on how deep you want to go.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And the point is that you're going to like stretch that far, and we want the reward to feel like worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to feel like as you're pushing yourself, you are rewarded for it. That is something that's really important to the vision here for the portal.
Yeah, rewards, huh?
Rewards. There are a lot of rewards, aren't there?
Oh boy, I know where this one's going. I have a lot to say.
Let's talk about gear for a little bit here. What's changing about loot, and why should Guardians care?
Yeah, so like talking about chases and mountains and builds, like gear's at the center of all of that. And we actually have two giant gear changes. I'm gonna like put in two little buckets for us to talk about. The first one is Armor 3.0. And the next one is gear tiers. And so like talking about Armor 3.0 first, we are probably making the biggest change ever since Shadowkeep around the system. It's enormous.
It's a huge change.
Yeah, so like we're adding set bonuses, which is a long requested feature for all the new armor that you're going to be able to get at Edge of Fate launch, and we're redoing all the stats on armor. They can now like exceed 100.
Go beyond 100.
Go beyond 100 for.
Okay, so this actually isn't the stuff I have bad things to talk about. This is actually good. I like that. Here, they're keeping the ability stats, but they're reworking the D2 original stats, mobility, resilience, and recovery, because they kind of weren't really that good. They couldn't figure out what to do with mobility. They kind of put resilience into like the must-have tier, because you kind of have to have resilience in this game, because if you don't, then you're intentionally making it harder. So I wonder if this means we're going back to like before the resilience rework in terms of like how squishy we are, where we're not just gonna be able to like tank everything. Actually, let me go back and see what the health one said.
Yeah, so like
increases amount of health you gain each time you pick up an orb, reduces incoming flinch. Okay, yeah, so nothing about DR. So that's good. I don't think you should just get free DR for investing in a stat. And yeah, recovery wasn't really all that either, so them reworking the top 3 stats is a really good thing. It's making every stat that you have worth something. And allowing you to invest past 100, I think is also pretty good. It depends on the scaling of it, who knows how well it'll scale past 100. So depending on the scaling, it could be good or it could be kind of negligent. I also wonder if this means that every single stat's going to matter. I wonder if that's a major part of it. I'm sure they'll talk about it in a second. But if every single stat matters, I think that's also going to be a really huge change as well, instead of having the tiered system that we currently have. And having like an enhanced benefit as well. I mean, maybe getting, at least 101 is, the play now, because you get that stuff. But again, I think them reworking the top 3 stats to mean something and be good is really cool.
We're adding set bonuses, which is
set bonuses is kind of a whatever to me. It's
for all the new armor that you're going to be able to get at Edge of Fate launch, and we're redoing all the stats.
It depends on what the set bonuses are.
Can now like exceed 100.
I mean, we get to see one right here. Increase kinetic damage to combatant shields, blah blah blah. Defeating powerful combatants or with. Again, it just depends on the set bonuses, on what they are.
Go beyond 100 for extra bonuses.
Yep.
We're gonna every single piece of new legendary armor that drops is going to
Oh no, marks have stats now. Oh god, I'm not. I. Oh my god. Oh, that's. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I don't really know if I like our class items having stats now because that is. I mean, yes, it's gonna make your class items actually matter in your build instead of just yoinking a piece of artifice armor and calling it a day. But also like it's another piece of armor you gotta RNG grind through, and I just don't really know if I can take more of that, honestly. I don't know if I could.
The energy filled in.
Especially given the change they're about to talk about
And it's going to
with
essentially
weapons.
there's more features actually that I could talk about, but I don't think I'm allowed to yet.
Fair. Well, something that we can talk about too. You mentioned gear tiers as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes.
Oh god, here's the bad thing.
Every single legendary weapon and armor that you can get is going to have 5 gear tiers, starting from 1 going up to 5. And like we have a 5 tier 5 piece of legs armor on the screen right now. And you can see that like this is like looks really cool with iconography, but it also has a ton more stats. And oh look, what's that?
Yeah, what's going on with the energy there?
Yeah, the energy.
Ben?
Yeah, the energy says 11,
Ah,
and
that's
it's
what it
true.
is.
11, yep.
It's not a typo. Like energy is going to 11 for higher tier armor. And so if you want that for your build crafting opportunities, it does like give you some new options you never had before. You're gonna have to challenge yourself to get more higher tier armor and keep.
I actually think tier 5 armor is going to be a better chase than what they're about to talk about with weapons because these stats seem to be pivoting to like every point mattering. So every, you know, for like most players, it's probably not going to matter. But I mean, hell, half the stuff that people do in this game is overkill anyway. But I think tier 5 armor is going to be more of a chase than tier 5 weapons. But I'll talk about that when we actually get to it.
Get more higher tier armor to get those options.
Also, the extra energy is really nice because there's so many builds I have where even just one more piece of energy would let me do what I want to do. So that's pretty cool.
Right. When it comes to weapons, they're obviously getting their own refresh as well.
Yes, yes.
What's Destiny without chasing some?
And here's the bad part of it all.
The player identity. You know, some people like have a gun that they love.
You got fashion, and then you have gunplay.
That's
right?
true. Though we do have fashion for your guns a bit.
Hey.
well, so because once you reach tier 5 for your legendary drops, you're going to be getting tier 5 weapons, and those have unique shader treatment. They,
I mean, this is cool. This part's cool. I like this. The rest of this image I do not like, but I like that we have like the unique shaders. This is bad. I don't like this, and not because of like any power creep stuff or whatever, because it's very clear Bungie doesn't give a damn about power creep. They're literally giving you a stat that makes you do more damage. My problem with this is that going based off of how enhanced perks work in current Destiny, I don't give a shit about enhanced weapons in this game. I only enhance my crafted weapons for the border. And I very rarely enhance a non-crafted weapon because to me, enhanced perks are not worth it. They are not worth in any capacity. And anytime we get enhanced perks that are worth a damn, you know what Bungie does to them? Bungie hits them with the Nerf hammer. They made this very clear very early on that enhanced perks are not worth chasing, for me at least, right? So to see that they're just applying the enhanced treatment to everything basically tells me that I'm not gonna care about the tiered weapon system. I'm not, because I don't care about current enhanced perks. And if we're applying that same design philosophy to the rest of the stuff that's getting enhanced, then I'm not gonna care about it either. I already barely care about the barrel and magazine perks because the magazine one kind of matters, but really nothing else matters. It's really the last two traits, the actual weapon traits, the thing that you chase after, that matter. So again, I just do not think that tier 5 weapons are going to be worth the trouble, given how enhanced perks currently work in this game and how underwhelming enhanced perks currently are. Because most of them just give like 5 to a stat or like give like half a second of duration or something. Like, what are we gonna do with half a second duration on like like a half second extra duration on a perk or something? That's not gonna matter. That's not gonna be something you can feel in moment to moment gameplay. You're not gonna like feel that extra half second. And again, like, cool, the stat bumps are nice, but they're so minuscule. They are so minuscule. Like, again, there's maybe a couple perks that like are worth the enhancement, but it is few and far between. Most enhanced perks to me are just not worth the grind. But who knows, maybe Bungie's gonna be like, hey, we're also overhauling every single enhanced perk to actually make them good. Because, I mean, again, they very clearly aren't, like, they're going in that direction because we have the weapon stat, which increases your weapon damage. So they're not afraid to just do something like that. So why don't we have enhanced perks that actually make your weapon stronger now, right? Like, what if we had enhanced kill clip that does, you know, more damage, or a rampage that does more damage, or anything? Is that too much? I mean, you're handing out weapon damage for free at this point. You're handing out weapon damage for free. So why not make our enhanced perks enhance the perk? Give it, meaningful duration increases. Give it meaningful damage increases or effect increases. I mean, I know, like on the screen here, enhanced rewind rounds actually is one of the better enhanced perks. But again, 90% of them don't really enhance the perk. They just give your gun 5 handling or 5 stability or whatever. And again, Bungie's not against giving you free damage. So unless there's some kind of overhaul to enhanced perks that I don't know of, I'm not going to care about tier 5. This is not going to get me to get rid of my vault the way that Beyond Light or Witch Queen did with their changes and introductions into the weapon systems. This isn't going to be like that. This is Bungie trying to do soft sunsetting, but they've kind of put themselves in a corner with it because they've realistically done all they can. So now they're just power creeping the shit out of the game in order to get people to use their new stuff. But guess what? I'm not going to buy into it unless there is a significant rework of this stuff, because I just do not think enhanced perks are worth it. I think they are a scam in this game, except for a few edge cases. Again, like I mentioned, rewind rounds is a pretty good one. I can't think of any off the top of my head because I don't pay attention to most of them, but ever since the enhanced incandescent nerf back in like 2022, I just haven't looked at enhanced perks the same. So, because it's clear that any outlier is just going to get nerfed anyway. So, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm really not, because I just don't think it's going to be worth my time.
Going to immediately identify it to you and others.
But again, maybe I'm the out of touch old man that doesn't, like new things. Maybe that's just how I am. I don't know if people feel the same about the tier 5 stuff. But yeah, I'm just an old man that doesn't like change. So, maybe I'm just, like the old man that hates fun, right? But I know how this company works.
Show on the weapon, it's going to show on the icon. It's even going to show when you kill enemies with that weapon, because there's unique kill effects for tier 5 weapons that you can turn on or off.
Although I'm noticing no kill count there, I'm assuming it's probably just a bug.
If you don't want it, but your game,
as far as we're not enhancing the frame at this point.
That is being used is like the highest tier you can get.
Yeah, Giver's Blessing, which I think we have on screen right now. This is one of the Kepler auto rifles, and I cannot put this thing down. Yeah, when we're playing through the Edge of Fate right now. And it's what's really exciting about it for me is that, like, when you see that tier 5 drop, like, immediately that's better than like a tier 3 or tier 4 weapon that you have, right? And I think that's when we talk about making Destiny easier to just jump in, find the fun, make it accessible, but also create more depth. Yeah. This is what we're thinking about. It's like, how can we just make immediate, like, you understand, like, okay, this is probably better than the thing I have right now, depending on what gear tier it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good example of how much time and effort is being put into these game systems to make them more like approachable. Change can be scary. There's a lot of change that's about to come to the game. We're Armor
True.
3.0, we have so many new boons, we have a bunch of new stuff. And after 10 years of Destiny, this is going to flip some stuff on its head. So, I mean, we're going to have a bunch of blog content. We're going to have interviews with Robbie, with Ben, with more folks across the team that have been working on this. And then we'll also be elevating our creator community when they're creating guides, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a fun time. But ultimately, a big shout out and thank you to all the folks that have been coming into our studio, giving feedback early on some of these systems so they can be more approachable. And we're looking forward to all the feedback that's going to be coming after launch, too. Like, this is, again, one of our first steps into something, and then the community and we are going to build something amazing.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how much feedback we've gotten from the community summits we've been running over the last year for the Edge of Fate, and just people reaching out to the community teams and others to us. Like, your feedback is invaluable. So, like, seriously, like, thank you so much. We're making this game together, ultimately.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, except for the part where you don't listen to the actual player base,
I don't
but
think we would be able to make what we do without it.
Working with the community is obviously a core part. Dylan, huge thanks to you and your team, obviously, for helping to lead that charge. And in advance for the big blogs you get to write. And then also our social media team will go ahead and get out the door. So go ahead and give us a follow.
I think, Ben, you were saying you wanted to try to break the record for longest twid?
I'm more predicting we are.
Yeah. So
it's not about try, it's the state of things.
It's going to be a multi-month journey.
yeah, I'm going to skip
We've been
ahead.
focusing on improving and changing the formula of Destiny in the year. We've been talking about how
Okay, yeah, so this is the kind of roadmap. So we're not getting one raid in one dungeon a year. So we're getting raid with the Edge of Fate. Dungeon with Renegades. No mention of like a pass for the dungeons, so I guess dungeons are finally back to being a part of the expansion. It only took them, you know, an infinite amount of time to do that. Stories, locations, missions, weapons, gear, raid, dungeon, typical of expansion, major updates. I wonder what new events is. I wonder if it's going to be more stuff like heavy metal. Or what? Modifiers and challenges, new gear and artifact mods. Word pass, exotic weapon, legendary weapon, or ornaments, yep. All standard.
seasons and on the core hobby of Destiny and that commitment to it's between each of our major expansions happening in a year, 2 expansions, 2 free major updates between those expansions. So what that means we're not doing is paid seasonal content anymore. We're not doing separate seasonal storylines. And this also means we're not building a bunch of activity content that basically just goes away and is less meaningful to the game after 3 months. So we're instead focusing
Hey, that's
all
good.
that effort that used to
We're not
go there
sunsetting
into
anymore.
building up the core hobby of the game so the core hobby stays fresh.
Wonder how that's going to
exciting
fare out with the
year-round. And so,
problem they ran into, which is why they started
ultimately,
sunsetting
this
this
means
stuff in
no
the
more
first place,
paywalls for
but
seasonal content, and also these major updates themselves that I'm signposting around right now. The size of them roughly and the inspiration for them we're thinking about is like Into the Light.
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you say like Into the Light, for folks that aren't out there, like what for a major update, how big is that? Like how do you encapsulate that?
So when I say Into the Light, a lot of this is like the inspiration of what it was. And with Into the Light came a really cool theme that wrapped around all the new stuff we were building within it, but also a lot of the reprise stuff as well. And also, you know, with it came Onslaught, a new type of activity. It came with reprised exotic missions and a rethinking of how we could do like a rad style event, a raid event with the Pantheon. And so for our first major update coming a few weeks after the Edge of Fate launches, we've got Ash and Iron. Right? And so with Ash and Iron, yeah, we're going to be returning to the Plague Lands.
Returning to the Plague Lands.
oh god.
And so,
Destiny
that story
Redditors
is
are
gonna pick up from where we left off
foaming
with
at the mouth
Fate,
right now.
And with it, we're going to have
They're having to clean up their
terrain,
rooms.
a brand new exotic mission, new types of pinnacle ops entering that for the first time, as well as, of course, what's Destiny without loot to chase? We've got new gear, new rewards, and 2 new exotic weapons as part of Ash and Iron as well. And again, this major update and the season, all the seasonal content going forward is free for all players. All the activity content that exists in the portal, that's free to play.
Very nice. So even to actually go one quick layer deeper on seasons as well, what are some of the cool things that we're going to be able to do with the season that's launching alongside the Edge of Fate?
Yeah, Ben has been working on this space with the team for a while now, so I'm going to kick this one to him.
Yeah, so we're trying to make any time the best time to hop into Destiny. You know, and one of the ways we want to do that is we want to invest in events that are like accelerating the game and enhancing every part of the game, but also bringing new cool stuff. And actually, we've been working on this so long, we actually have some new cool stuff coming before the Edge of Fate.
It's a special little treat.
Yeah, special little treat. So this Friday, you can play a little event, maybe you've heard of it, called Heavy Metal, which is Tanks versus Briggs, a new PvP.
This is really
Super
fun. This is actually really
I
fun.
wish
I've
I was
played a
just
bit of
playing
it.
right
It's
now,
pretty
not gonna
fun.
lie. But the thing that people at home don't know is we have a new reward. That's a unique thing in Destiny. If you invest in this event, if you go and play, and it is a free-to-play event, so this reward is free to play. It is a new combat vehicle that goes in your Sparrow sled, combat Sparrow, if you will, called the Griffin.
Oh, excuse me.
And this is a really cool, like, combat-ready vehicle you can take anywhere you can summon a Sparrow. You can summon it and use it to fight your enemies and just have a really good time. And there's some really cool build crafting things with this vehicle that I don't want to spoil right now that people discover, but I'm super excited for it.
They all thought they were going to ride those skimmers forever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've been saying, like, what was it? Skimmer is Flash, and the Griffin is Splash.
Hey, there we go. The dad joke quota has been met.
We got to get one in.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's not all, right, man? Like, you've got more for us, don't you?
Oh yeah. So like I just said, there's more events that
Yeah.
we've been making. There's one that's going to happen right after the launch of Edge of Fate. It's called Arms Week, and it's
Okay.
a week-long event, and you're going to be focusing on one weapon archetype in Arms Week whenever it comes around. And this one is going to give you a new legendary weapon of that type. It's going to have some volatile mods that are there for the week that are going to be super interesting and fun to play with, and some focusing you can do. But there is a problem when you say this event is going to be about weapons and about using them.
Yeah, you got to have a place to test all that out.
Right. And
Yeah,
so I mean, I've been doing that in EDZ this whole time. I don't know about
Sure.
the rest of you,
Those poor dregs.
right?
Yeah.
But there is a new way now. We have a new feature, a long requested feature that is being added to the game with Arms Week. It is the shooting range.
They're finally returning it. If you didn't play before Beyond Light, we had a pseudo shooting range in the Tribute Hall. And then they removed it from the game and continued to ignore player requests to add it back for 5 years. And look at that, they're finally adding the shooting range back because we need players to come back. And so let's add requested features to get players back in so we can go back to neglecting them.
And the shooting range is being added to the tower. It is a now permanent addition to the game with the launch of Arms Week. We're not taking it away. And you can go there and you can try out everything in your kit, everything about your...
Again, this is just something that, like, this shouldn't even be a major point for, like, something that they're adding. This should have just been in the game from day one. Or at least you shouldn't have removed it. Because, again, I mean, we didn't have one that's going to be this extensive from the looks of it, from what I know of it. You know, the old one we had wasn't that extensive, but it worked. It was good enough. For what the game was at the time, right? And so they could have kept the Tribute Hall, they could have expanded upon it and made it the proper shooting range it should have been. And then it felt like they wanted to have one in the Enclave, because there's like the discs out back. But I guess it got scrapped or cut or whatever, because I mean, it doesn't really do anything. But again, this shouldn't be like a major point, because this is something that we should have had. Why does every other game in the genre have a shooting range and Destiny doesn't? Right? It's ridiculous. I mean, I get that the game only really started taking the RPG stuff, seriously in the past, maybe 5-6 years, but like, again, there's no excuse that a looter shooter didn't have a shooting range for 11 years of its existence, except for the time that it got like a pseudo shooting range that got removed within, what, a year and a half of it existing. Again, ridiculous that it's taken this long to get such a requested feature, but this again proves that Bungie's only doing this because their backs are against the wall. And that's something I'm really tired of with this company, is the fact that they will not do anything. They will be totally complacent until their backs are against the wall and they're cornered and they actually need to do something. And then they'll pull out and they'll cook. Look at Final Shape, look at Witch Queen, look at Forsaken, look at Taken King. They can do good, they just don't want to half the time. They only do good when they have to do good, and this is a thing that they're only doing good because they have to do good. If they were not in the situation they were in right now, I highly doubt we'd be getting stuff like Heavy Metal and Arms Week and the shooting range. This is just ridiculous that it's taken this long and that they're flaunting it as a major thing. I mean, yeah, it is a major thing, but this shouldn't the point is that this should have existed years ago, and you shouldn't have taken away the pseudo shooting range we had. Stupid fucking company, man.
built with all sorts of simulations of different kinds of enemies and situations, and it's all real damage numbers. It's like
It's even got a scoreboard.
it's even got a scoreboard
For you
right there.
and your fire team.
Yeah, yeah, your whole raid team can go down into the shooting range and trout. Like, see exactly how well you're gonna do for some kind of boss at this range or
I was
with
gonna
a
say, yeah,
strategy.
who can do most of the damage, right?
Yeah, well, you're finally gonna know.
So we have a rally flag. It's not just a shooting range. Like, you can go beyond the firing line and use your abilities too.
Yeah, yeah, you totally can. And like, if you wanted to, you could even take in prismatic and pop transcendence and try that out. And well, I think the reason why we're not seeing that right now is because it's a Titan.
Yeah, it's a good soldier.
Yeah, yeah,
Standing on that firing line.
yeah, staying on the firing line.
All about building that line and standing.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
A lot of theory crafters are going to have to go ahead and have some upheavals to their Google Docs, I'm guessing.
This will be a really good tool. Like, as we're adding all of these different systems with gear tiering and all of that, you can go in and check those damage numbers in real time. Like, how do my stats change? How are these different gear bonuses going to affect my gameplay? You can see it in the tower now.
And while we're talking about weapons,
Oh yeah,
you got
well
one more thing, right?
Yeah, no, there's one more thing. I know
Yeah.
you're excited. So there's more events. Of course, there's more events, and the holiday events are coming up. Where Solstice is right around the corner.
It's
as well.
summertime, right?
It's summertime. Summertime is solstice time in Destiny 2, and Solstice has some really cool twists and such that we're planning. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to show you all the new hollow foil treatment we have for Solstice weapons. So here we go. This
Yeah,
is
it
the
looks
hollow foil
cool.
Treatment for Solstice in 2020.
I really like the effect on it. I think that looks cool.
It's amazing every time I look at it.
Yeah.
It is an ocean, and
On a gun.
the line. Yeah, we put the ocean on a gun. How did we do that? It's beautiful. I love it. And
You also
any
spot
kind
the
of,
new perk
weapon
on
that
it,
drops for this event
right here.
can have
New
a hollow
perk.
foil
Yeah,
no
so it
matter
could be
what
tier
the
1 or tier 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, any
exactly.
weapon can have the hollow foil.
Yeah,
when playing through.
like
Also,
so
is this just what
hollow
the
foil
watermarks
we
look
have for
like now?
Solstice weapons.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is just. I don't know if these watermarks look kind of ugly. I'm not gonna lie. They're. I don't know. I don't know if I like them that much.
So here we go.
Sorry, weird thing to criticize.
Yeah, any kind of
Yeah, any
chase. Our other events will also have hollow foils.
yeah, like Arms Week. You're talking
Arms Week
about.
will have its own hollow foil treatment. Like every event, a major event we have, will have a hollow foil treatment. The holidays will have their own kind of special one, but yeah, Arms Week will have their hollow foil drops that you can farm as well.
super exciting. No, it's going to be a good time. I'm going to have way too much stuff to chase down, so appreciate you guys putting all the hard work in, obviously, for that. But I believe we've got one more thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking a lot about here are the free updates coming to Destiny, the portal, a bunch of different stuff, Edge of Fate, but we also have another expansion, and we need Allison back on the couch to talk about
Right,
it.
yeah, Allison.
She's the best one to talk
Yeah,
we go.
we've got something very exciting, and so once again, Allison, thank you for taking the time.
You guys
to
are
join
another
us today. We
controversial
appreciate
opinion
it.
when it
Of course,
comes to.
I'm so excited to be the one more thing.
Yeah, it's a tradition around here, so we're glad that you could obviously go ahead and lead us into this one. But as Dylan mentioned, we've talked about the Edge of Fate, but this is the first year we're going to be doing 2 expansions over the course of a year. Can you tell us a little bit about Renegades?
Yeah, so we're going to have a dedicated reveal for Renegades in September alongside our major update, Ashen Iron. Experimenting and innovate, we're meant to more inside of what we're making.
I just want the trailer because I want to give my very controversial opinion on it, apparently. Again, no disrespect to the developers, I just want the trailer and gameplay info. So yeah, we're getting a Star Wars DLC. As somebody who is not that into Star Wars, doesn't care about getting into Star Wars, it's a little concerning. It's a little concerning that we are just full on getting a Star Wars DLC. Because Destiny up to this point has largely done its own thing. And now we're just getting a Star Wars DLC. That's how I'm seeing it. Like, I already haven't been the biggest fan of the collab stuff the past couple years, but like you can brush it off because it's just cosmetics. It has no impact on the game. But now that collab stuff is now leaching into leaking into the actual game with the Star Wars stuff. And sure, it could just be a major point of inspiration. If I can... Okay, I'm just gonna have to do this. I guess I paused many frames. That's an actual fucking lightsaber. That's just a lightsaber. That's not just like a glowy sword that's green and what that. No, that's a lightsaber. I think this goes a little beyond inspiration at this point. Considering we have actual Star Wars armor, in the game now. And again, as someone who isn't Star Wars, who isn't a Star Wars guy, is this going to be the standard for the second paid expansion? Is the second paid expansion going to start being collab stuff now? Are we heading into Fortnite territory? Where this game's just going to be collabing and integrating games into its story now? Is that what we're doing? Is that the direction that this franchise is taking? I will leave. I will walk my ass out of this franchise. Because if I wanted those other franchises, I'd go to them. I go to Destiny for the Destiny stuff. And again, I don't think inspiration is necessarily a bad thing. I mean, staying topical here, Stormcaller is very obviously a Palpatine reference. Like, staying topical, that's a very obvious Palpatine reference, but it's done tastefully. The cosmetics, I felt like they kind of tried to make them Destiny-ified, and then eventually they just straight up put Darth Vader in the game as a cosmetic set for pre-order. And again, I think this might just be kind of going too over the edge, I think, with the collab stuff, with it very much just looking like a Star Wars DLC. And to use an example, to go back to an example I used earlier, Fortnite works because, I mean, that's the core of Fortnite. I mean, Fortnite has made its entire core identity the collab stuff, so I think it's fine there. Because that's the point of Fortnite at this point. It's just a giant pool of collaborations. But here, Destiny's never really been about collaborations until, what, Witch Queen? When we started getting collab sets replacing Eververse armor, and also not allowing us to buy them in individual pieces anymore, so... And also making Eververse armor therefore more expensive because of the collab stuff. Again, I just don't really know how to feel about this, because I don't care about Star Wars. I'm not into Star Wars. I'm sure if you're into Star Wars, you're probably, soy jacking at the screen. You're probably like, oh my god, it's Star Wars and Destiny. I love Star Wars. I love Destiny. Like my friend. My friend loves Star Wars and he loves Destiny. I'm sure this is hype for him. And I wish I could be that excited. I really do. I wish I could be as excited about this as other people are. But jaded old man, I guess, is what I am to this game, because I just don't think this is as cool as people probably think it is, as people are making it out to be. Again, I'm not attacking you for enjoying it. If you think this looks cool, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're able to enjoy something that I am unable to enjoy. Right? You can like Renegades. You can like, this collab DLC. You can be excited for it. That's fine, right? One of my biggest Destiny friends is really excited for this, and again, good for him. I'm not, he can be excited for it. That's fine. I'm just saying, for me personally, this doesn't do it. This isn't it for me personally, because I feel like we are going past the line of like inspiration to just full on like, this is Star Wars and Destiny. Instead of like, oh, this is maybe like inspired by some of the concepts of Star Wars, but we put our own kind of Destiny twist on it. No, this feels like Star Wars, just flat out we put Star Wars in Destiny. This doesn't feel like what I'm hoping it is. It feels like exactly how I'm saying. I'm trying to not repeat myself because I do that a lot, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I'm buying Edge of Fate yet. So, and I mean, I guess if I do, I'll make a video on Edge of Fate and we'll see how Renegades plays out, but I'm not looking forward to Renegades. I can at least say that much, that I'm not really looking forward to Renegades. Edge of Fate seems cool. Seems awesome. You know, it could be good. But I don't know how I feel about Renegades. I don't know, again, maybe I'm just being jaded old man that doesn't like anything new. Um, or maybe just an idiot. That's another possibility, but this just doesn't sit right. Because I mean, what's stopping them from doing this stuff with BioShock? Or is it BioShock? BioShock's the no, it's Mass Effect I'm thinking of. It's Mass Effect, sorry. Mass Effect. Another game I'm not really into that Destiny has collaborated with before. I mean, what's stopping them from doing a Mass Effect, collab DLC? Again, before that, I could excuse the collab stuff because it's just cosmetics that have no effect on the game, and like I already don't care about a lot of the Eververse stuff anyway. So like whatever. But now it's feel like the collabs are or they're trying to be pushed into this like core part of Destiny, and I don't really like that. I mean, we didn't need collabs for what, 8 years? And I thought they were fine just being cosmetics because they didn't get in the way of the game. But now it feels like they're starting to integrate into the base game, and leaving the Eververse store and making their way into the actual game. Again, we'll see how it goes. I just don't think this is a good look or a good sign of what's to come. I really don't, because Destiny's not Fortnite. I'll stop bitching and I'll unpause the video, but I'm not really looking forward to this that much. I'll probably do, another reaction to it, but...
Okay, Robbie, what did we just see?
Yeah, so that's Renegades, which is coming out this December. And to really drive it home here, Renegades is a one-of-a-kind Destiny experience, right?
And not in a good
Just
way.
like we on the Destiny 4, Renegades takes the space western vibe and aesthetic that is Star Wars, and it puts it through that Destiny lens. And
It really doesn't, though.
ultimately, it's created a new lawless frontier that is emerging within Seoul. And so, like, we're so excited to show Renegades off a little bit today, and to be talking about it more in the future in September alongside the major update with Ash and Iron. But right now, today, we're focused on Rite of the Nine and what's right.
No, a show. We went through a lot of it. So let's kick off on July 15th.
We're going to have the rules, regulations, all that kind of stuff for our raid race.
Of course.
We invite everybody to come in, try to details. We're not going to spoil anything.
Just to go ahead and learn.
The raid's coming out, what, 4 days after, which is diabolical when they're reworking the entire armor and weapon system, and they're releasing a raid literally 4 days later.
On September 9th, Renegades, very exciting, will be launching. But as far as today goes, pre-ordering a lot of very cool stuff, including this cool statue that you...
Is this... Okay, this is all just...
So much for being here today.
Okay. Yeah, I don't... Edge of Fate could be cool. I think anything past that I'm kind of just conflicted on. Really, I should have stopped playing after Final Shape, and I got done with the video for that. I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel. I really don't know how to feel about the future of Destiny. I don't know. The only way to find out is to just watch what happens. But I don't know. Renegades might be the first expansion I don't play. But yeah, thanks for listening to this jaded old man hate fun for about an hour and a half. Again, this is kind of a new thing I'm trying on the second channel. To do more unscripted stuff like this, because it helps with the downtimes of actually working on the video, on the next video. Yeah, I'm kind of out of things to say. I think I said everything, so I'm going to thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Stay hydrated and take care of yourselves.